Hello there, it's Chris Warburton here. I am the owner and founder of Truth Acquisition. And today we're going to be going over a little model, a streamlined model. If you're a coach, even an agency, consultant, whatever it is, that you can use to streamline your business and really refine everything so that there's not as many moving parts, there's less factors and things that can go wrong in your business, and also set you up to scale. Scaling, of course, it's the most important thing if you want to reach those, um, 20, 30, 50, 100K plus months. Okay. All even up into the seven figures per month as well. Okay. So, in able to successfully scale, we need to streamline everything. We need to automate as much as we can, and make sure that the service delivery isn't affected as we scale up as well. Because, it's one thing scaling up a business, but it's another making sure that the results are still incredible. Okay. You don't want to be sacrificing your service delivery, and, your customers, your client satisfaction over making more money. Okay. That's not the right way to go. So this model that I'm going to be going over today, it kind of covers all of that. Okay, so let's get me out of the way of this screen, and we'll get stuck in. If I can find out how to do that, there we go, shrink camera. Okay, so this is the kind of typical, one-on-one coaching model. Some agency models are like this, and also some consultancy models as well. So if you're already, one of those who do one-on-one coaching calls, you've got a client, okay, and your service delivery for that client consists of hopping on a Zoom call with them or in an in-person meeting. And, a lot of coaches, consultants, agency owners who want to keep it really personalized, which is great. You can keep it personalized, but you're going to be sacrificing a lot of scale, unless you find out how to personalize while also, being able to automate certain processes that set you up for scale, which you absolutely can do that as well. You can still give that personal approach. You can also add loads of value, not sacrifice the quality of the service, and still be able to scale up and have less involvement and less time that you actually put into your business. So this may look familiar. We've got the one-on coaching model from there. Let's say that we've got 8 clients with this one-on-one coaching model. So at a very, very minimum, you're going to be, doing a 1 hour per week coaching call. So that's 8 hours altogether. Now, from there, you also have to do prep for these coaching calls. There's certain things that you have to do in these coaching calls. You might have to look over some client things. You might have to really work and try and dig deep with a client, work out certain things. And also, to actually get these clients on in the first place, you have to do outreach and sales activities as well. There's a load of admin that come along with this too. So you're looking at an extra 20 to 30 hours per week on top of this as well. So for $5,000 to $10,000 per month, you're working 30 to 40 hours per week. So a very standard, time that people work. You're getting 5 to 10K per month, which is, it's okay. It's some people, it's probably more than the average person makes. But is that really what you want to settle on? You're working all week. You've not really got any extra time for your kids and things like that. And to be honest, a lot of people are working a lot longer. They're working at least 50 hours per week to even scrape this 5 to 10K per month mark as well. So is this something you want? Just being stuck around a very mediocre number, you're comfortable, you're content. That's okay, but you're not really going anywhere. You're not really setting up for your future. You're not making, this isn't a business that you're going to be able to sell. Okay. No coach is ever going to buy another coach's business that is making around this number. Okay. It's just not worth it, especially this little amount of clients as well. Now, some coaches that don't even know how to charge high ticket and aren't charging according to the value that they bring are making even less than this for the same amount per week. Okay. So it's just a very outdated model. It's not set up for scale. You're going to have this. I hear some coaches, hop on sales calls with them, prospect, And they say that, they don't want to lose that personalized approach. They want to make sure that, the client is satisfied and all this. And all it is it's just stupid, okay? Because honestly, you're not going to, there's ways you can go about keeping and maintaining the service delivery, okay? Making sure that the value is still there, the quality is still there, without having to, constantly be on coaching calls and one-on-one calls with people and things like that. It just takes a little bit of critical thinking. Within our program, we have so many different softwares, structures, frameworks, everything that covers all of this anyway. So this any problems that people might perceive with switching to a different coaching model and not sticking with this one it's just made up in their heads. It's just doubts that creep in. There's a way to get around every single problem. Okay, there's a way that we can automate everything in a business within reason. Okay, you can really automate every single thing in a business. Of course you can, but sometimes quality does dip there. So there is caveats to certain things when it comes to scaling, but we cover all that in the program, and I'm going to give you a little idea today anyway on how you can get through that. So this model is dead, okay? Absolute dead. We don't want this coaching model. So this new coaching model, which actually, so Alex Hormozi, he's a big name. One of the main reasons I've actually named this. Sorry, I'm just altering my thing there. One of the reasons that I have actually, named the title of this is, of course, Alex Hormozi. He's very well known. It's a pretty clickbaity title. It's going to get people to click on it, but it's very relevant because he has just started promoting Skool that he's actually got equity in now. He's invested in Skool, which is basically like a community model where you can have like video modules, you can have a program, you can have courses. And we don't like using the word courses, especially around here. They're overused. Most courses are awful. So a program is a better word, okay? And for it to qualify as a program, in my eyes, it has to be the bee's knees, okay? It has to be really good, not just these crappy courses that everyone thinks about, okay? Obviously some courses are valuable, but is the implementation there? Is it actually going to work? Is it going to say what it does on the tin? Most of them don't, okay? So Skool, which Alex Hormozi is invested in, is basically this community platform where you can have video modules within this actual community. People can comment underneath the videos. People in the community, they can have discussions about the videos. They can help each other. So if the video module is a certain method or technique, other people within that community will have also watched the video, tried that technique, iterated and improved on it, and found ways that work for them that they can then share in that community underneath. And the beautiful thing about this is your actual clients are helping you refine your product and make it better. You're literally using this community space where people are, open Discord, where people can talk and communicate and share ideas. That in itself is naturally going to help evolve this actual product itself, okay? Without you really needing to do much work or as much work as you needed to before. So let's say we've got, with this community model, okay, instead of having, one-on-one calls, you've got the program in the community where people can all chat and speak to each other. These video modules, you've made sure that they are perfect to a T. The thing is, when you're on one-on-one calls, you might be absolutely knackered, have a bad day, you're really tired. You hop on a one-on-one call and you can't give it 100% to that client. When you've got it in this program model, video modules, you have made sure that everything is there. It's 100%. There's nothing missed out within these modules. Then on top of that, you've got people that can talk underneath that. And then you yourself can also add in and talk underneath that as well. With one-on-one calls, these, they're going to forget about certain things that were spoken over in the calls. In this community model, it's all there anyway. You can ask more questions, things like that. Now, here's what I mean when it comes to not having to sacrifice the quality. So, On top of this community program, the benefits of that and these high quality video modules, the fact that they can speak underneath that and things like that, communicate with each other, we can also add in a weekly group coaching call. Okay, so you've still got that personalized aspect. You're not sacrificing the quality there, and you're also being able to deliver. So on top of that, we can have these group coaching calls, which is, of course, 8 people in a group coaching calls per week. That's 1 hour per week, as opposed to having 8 clients throughout that week, which would have been 8 hours. And on top of this, you're now spending less time on your clients, okay? So you've just saying that instead of 8 hours, you're spending 1 hour with them. But also you've got the community and the program model where, of course, you're going to have to be active in that as well. So there is a caveat to that, add an extra hour or a few a week. But the beautiful thing about that is that it kind of does itself anyway. All you're doing is answering questions you would have already answered on sales calls, and other people in the group will see these questions that get answered, and they don't have to ask that question again. So, you're killing multiple birds with one stone there. Now, if we want to, really give us even more time, we can automate our outreach system, okay, or our appointment booking system. So whatever we're currently using, to bring in new clients into the business, we can use things like AI, we can use VAs, we can use softwares to completely automate that system. Now, of course, there's caveats to that. We actually need a proof of concept, which means, proof that this system works, okay? So to do that, we need to collect data, okay? And to collect data, all we are doing is we're tracking from every single point of that system, every single place of the outreach system or the appointment booking system will track, so that if there's any kind of bottlenecks or anything in that system, we can iterate and improve that one bottleneck so that the throughput of that system is opened back up. Okay, and the throughput is basically, stranger that started reading your, maybe let's say, for example, reading an email that you've sent them, and then they watch the video that's within that email. Okay, so the throughput is the amount of volume that is going through that system. So if we, find a bottleneck within the system, a bottleneck is something that is preventing throughput from going further or dropping the throughput down enough so that there's so much that there's barely, anyone carry on going through that system. We can unblock, that bottleneck by iterating, improving, and testing, and then the throughput is free to go down. Now, every single system throughput naturally declines anyway, but the idea is to make it so every single point of the system is as clear as possible, so that the throughput that drops off is as least as possible. Okay, so we want to maximize the amount of throughput that's staying on till the end of the system. Okay, now once we have collected this data, we can look at the KPIs that we've set for these systems. KPIs are a key performance indicator, which is basically like a goalpost. Okay, it's a guidepost where we want the system to be, because we know that it works. We know that it's sustainable when it's in KPI. When we know it's sustainable, it's simply a matter of scaling that system up. And to scale that system up, we need to prep the processes within the system. Okay, so the things that, we've got a stranger who's maybe seen an email, and these processes are there to take them through, different processes of the system, and then they end up being the output of the system. Okay, and the output is the outcome of coming to the end of that system, which what we want, of course, is them to either book a sales call with us or become our client. Okay, so when we scale up a system, we need to prepare the processes for scale, and then we need to put more inputs into the system, which would be more leads, for example. So if we put more leads, more inputs into the system, our processes are prepped for the scale, so that the system can actually process the extra volume that is going through this. And then the output of that is, of course, more booked appointments or more clients. Okay, so that's what I mean by proof of concept, by needing a proof of concept to then scale up that system. The same goes for, the sales process as well. So we need to prepare that for scale 2. And then the outcome of that is, more clients. So with this model here, 5 hours per week, we've automated everything. We've automated the appointment booking system. We've automated the sales process. And because of all, this new community model, the weekly group coaching calls, we're now working 5 hours per week for $5,000 to $10,000 per month. Okay. So this is great if you are happy with $5,000 to $10,000 per month, and you now have got some extra time to spend with your family, your kids, and things like that. But what about the people that have really got something about them and actually want to achieve something? Okay, so you've not really achieved much with 5 to 10K per month. It's okay, but if you're in, why would you limit? Why would you miss out on so much potential? You're in a space that's incredibly scalable. We've got the internet now that has made it possible to make millions online. Why would you want to stay at that number? Okay. So if you're one of those people that aim high and you want to achieve some big things in life, then we can go on to another model, which is the same model. We've streamlined this as much as possible, but we want a more scalable model and, something that we're spending the same amount of time on, but making more money as well. So, as I mentioned before about the scaling, we can then scale this one system here 5 times, okay? And we can only scale once we have a proof of concept with our outreach and sales systems. So like I mentioned before, these need to be in KPI. We need to know that they work. And the reason that we know they work is by feedback, which again is tracking and collecting data. Okay, data is our feedback. So once a proof of concept is achieved, when we've collected enough data from our systems to analyze, if we are in KPI with the systems, then we have a proof of concept and we can scale up. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. It was a bit okay. Now, to scale a system, we need to prep the processes for scale. We then need to put more inputs into the system, and then the outputs are, of course, more clients. Or if we were only scaling up the appointment booking system, we'd be getting more appointments booked. If we were only scaling up the sales system, well, you get the gist of it. Okay, the whole system as a whole, okay, this whole model as a whole, if we scale this up, the output of this is more clients. And you also you need to have an automated onboarding process to deal with scale as well, because this limits the amount of time that you actually have to put into onboarding people. Hopping on onboarding calls, explaining everything. You don't need to do any of that. Okay, so it's just a huge waste of time. And again, people are like, I don't want to sacrifice customer service. You're not sacrificing any customer service. It's ridiculous. So you are able to completely automate your sales, your onboarding process as well, so that you don't even need to put any time or much time into that either, which of course gives you more time to focus on other needle moving aspects of the business. And when I say needle moving aspects, I mean things that are actually going to bring in revenue into the business, your sales, your appointment booking, things like that. Okay. Now, once we scale this system times 5, we've got 40 clients here. 1 second. Let's say we've scaled this system by 5 times. So that's taking us to 40 clients within our community program model. Now, as you scale, you may have to do more work. So say 40 clients, it might be too much for a group coaching call, especially if it's an interacting group coaching call. Now, this all depends. You can have 40 people in a group coaching call, but, as there is caveats to that much, if you wanted people to interact, people are going to be speaking over each other, things like that. So let's say that you're one of the coaches that maybe wants to just do, I don't know, like 12 people per coaching call, weekly group coaching call. Then it might take 3 hours per week extra instead of that 1 hour for the one group coaching calls. So we might, instead of doing one weekly group coaching call, we might do 3 group coaching calls instead. Now, we have the automated outreach system, which is a proof of concept, which is great. The only thing that we had to scale with that, because it's all automated anyway, the only thing we've had to do there is put more inputs into the system, and the outputs are more booked appointments. For our automated sales process, we have a high ticket closer who takes 10% commission per closed deal. From there, it's just we might have had to get an extra closer on board. It doesn't matter because they work on commission based anyway. It doesn't cost us any extra money. It doesn't give us any extra. We don't have to spend any extra time. The only thing that we might have to spend extra time on is actually maybe listening to the odd sales call and making sure that they are doing well. Okay, they're actually performing well. So you might have to add 1 to 2 hours per week there, but for the amount of money that you're going to be making, 25k to 50k per month, 5 to 7 hours per week, possibly 5 to 10 hours per week. That's great. Look at that. We've 5 times the amount of money that we was actually making per month. And using this streamlined model, because we've automated aspects of it, meaning that, because we've delegated aspects to either AI, systems, softwares, VAs, high ticket closers, because we delegated and system automated in that way, then we've just been able to, all we've had to do is put more inputs into the system, and the more outputs of that are, of course, more clients. Okay. Now, if we want to even make more money, okay, we can optimize this model. Okay. And what do I mean by optimize? Okay. So we can instead start targeting people who can afford high ticket prices and charge according to the value that we bring or the problem that we solve. So what do I mean by that? So you could be a fitness trainer. Okay. You could be a fitness coach. You could be a burnout coach, whatever it is. You've got skills and you can solve people's problems. And you might be currently targeting anyone, mums, dads who work normal jobs, whatever it is. Now, instead, you can pivot, okay, and instead start targeting people like entrepreneurs, C-level execs, things like that. These are industries where there is still a lot of problems in there that need to be solved, but these people can afford higher ticket prices. And you might think, entrepreneurs and things like that, if they've got to that space, then surely they've not got any other problems. Well, no, that's not the case at all. You'll find that a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners, C-level execs, things like that, they have put their all into their career and they've sacrificed so much for their career. And things like their mental health, their their body, their relationships have all suffered during that process. So you've got a huge market here of people that have lots of money, that are known to invest in themselves and be more likely to invest in themselves, who've got problems that you can solve. So that is exactly what I mean by targeting people who can afford high ticket prices and charge according to the value that we bring / problem we solve. So how valuable would it be to an entrepreneur if you can, or if you can solve their energy levels? They work throughout the day, they've neglected their, their mental health, their training, whatever it is, and they probably don't have as much energy as they used to. So that's a huge problem for them because they can't make as much money, they can't get as much done. They've got a huge responsibility. They need to be on top game. So if you're going to solve the problem, which is giving them a boost of energy, boosting their energy levels by an extra 50%, they're going to get an extra 50% more done. Extra 50% more done means in some cases they could double their revenue. Okay, so you can see that the value just from that solving that problem, the value that you bring to their lives is huge. And of course, from that you can actually pay or you can charge a lot higher ticket prices. Now, there is caveats to this as well. You need to position yourself as an expert in your niche. On sales calls, you need to really get them to understand the value that you bring. And there's so many different things that you need to do that. You need a really solid sales process. You need to have done a good job with your stimuli and the systems before that. And this is, you're going up to bigger levels. Okay. So you're obviously going to need to educate yourself more on these things. Okay. So optimizing and refining your offer, how do you know how to optimize and refine your offer? You've got a certain offer at the minute, but it's not getting you to the level that you need to. So that's when you need to start investing in yourself, and of course, learning more. Now, you can then optimize and refine your outreach, your sales and onboarding systems. So that basically means streamlining them more, automating them as much as possible. You might use different stimuli, different language. You're now using different people that you target into, so you're going to have to use different language and stuff there. So that's what I mean by optimize the model. We're optimizing this business model so that we can make more money for the same amount of clients and the same amount of time that we're putting in. So what does that look like? So let's say this model is now optimized, okay? Even though we've optimized it for scale, realistically, we can get more clients on than this, okay? But we're just going to keep it simple. So, we've got the exact same amount of time per week that we're putting in as that other model, which was, giving us 25 to 50K. But now we're actually adding, we're doubling our revenue, 50 to 75K per month. And also higher ticket, you could, for 40 clients, you could easily be up into the 100Ks per month with 40 clients if it's high ticket. Okay. In some cases, even to the 200K per month. So here's just a little idea of, a new model that's taking place. It's catching ground in the, the online business world. Now, Alex Hormozy's new coaching model, it's kind of based off his school. Okay. It's a great model. It's a great system. We don't personally use this yet because with us, we have, personal consultants. We are more high ticket. We're pay on results. Okay. So we've got a completely different model. It's similar. It's more automated and we use, aspects of it, but it's different. But if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're an agency, this is definitely the model to go to. Okay. And of course, depending on your niche, it might vary with this model. You might have variants of this model, but it's incredibly effective model that's going to allow you to scale incredibly fast and without sacrificing that service delivery. Okay. So that's all from me. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe, like, all of that if you want to see more of these videos in future.